Weekly hotels can be a blessing and a curse. Let's talk about it. More and more Americans are resorting to staying in weekly hotels due to loss of jobs, high rent, not being able to afford an apartment, being evicted. So they take the last resort from living in a car or living in a tent. They rent these expensive daily, weekly, monthly hotel rooms. Now, with these daily, weekly, monthly hotel rooms, it's good in one sense because you got a roof over your head, you might get free breakfast in the morning, you got some heat if it's cold out, you got some air conditioning if it's hot out. But what's the downside to these hotels? For one, it's not a lot of space if you got a family and a dog. You only get one room and maybe a little kitchenette. And that's about it. So, just imagine that, what would that be like if it was like two adults and maybe two, three kids and maybe a dog. And then you got to take under consideration, if you brought some of your items with you, because you can't fit it all in a hotel room. So you probably have to get some type of storage room somewhere at one of these storage facilities. And that can be very expensive too. I used to work at one and it was outrageous what they was charging for the square footage. So, that's an expense. And then if you don't have a job, that can really be bad, because now you scraping by every day trying to figure out how you're gonna pay for that room. And the average room is about what, $80 a day? And then you turn that by seven, you could be looking at about what, $560 a week. And then you turn that by four, if you want to try to stay there for a month, you're looking at around like $2,240. Now, taking all that under consideration, it can turn into a vicious cycle for someone trying to get out of it. I don't know if you ever tried the payday loan where you give one of your checks and then the money is due in like 2 weeks. And, I got into that. I got kind of caught up in that payday at one point in my life. And, you know, $300 can easily snowball into $1,000. And the way they keep you caught up with them is, you got to pay the full amount. You cannot pay half of it. They want all of it. And then what they tell you is, well, we'll just roll it over. All you have to do is just pay, I guess, the interest part, but you still owe the principal. And they just keep doing that cycle over and over and over. And before you know it, you went from $300 to 1,000 plus easily, quickly. So these hotels, yes, they're good, if you got a plan. And hopefully, most people do. But think about it. If you there for a month and you paying 2240 a month, that don't leave the average person, any money to do anything else. I mean, you got to take under consideration you got to eat, right? And you probably got a car, so you got to gas that up and keep that going. So it just turns into a vicious cycle because how do you get out of it? You know, it's either you rob Peter to pay Paul, and then in that situation, the hotel got a rule that I think you can only stay like 28 to 29 days tops in that particular room. And then I think they move you to another room. And the reason they do that is so you don't become a tenant. at the hotel. So if you become a tenant at the hotel, they just can't put you out. Now they got to take you to eviction court, and it's going to cost them money, time, effort. So they don't allow you to stay past, I think, 28 days in a room. So this way, they don't have to worry about you becoming a tenant. And they can easily move you out of there if you don't pay on time. So, yeah, it's good short term, I get it. I've been down on my luck a few times in my life, and, the money ain't right. And you're trying to scrape by to do the best you can for your family, yeah, it works for a point. You get running water, of course, and like I say, you get the heat and you get the roof over your head, but it comes at a hefty cost because the average person can't do both. You can't pay the hotel $2,200 and then have money to pay for a security deposit and 1 month's rent. Some places are asking 2 months security deposits and one rent. So do the math on that. The average apartment is $1,000 to $2,400, depending on how many rooms you want, as far as bedrooms. If you just want a studio, $1,000. But then as you start climbing up the ladder for more space, then it becomes expensive. And then again, they gonna do a background check. And if you've been evicted, that's not going to go well for you because most rental property owners don't want one eviction on your record. So it's just a vicious cycle, and and in the end, some of these people wind up on the street because you can only pay that so long. And then, the next thing is probably your vehicle and then the street. So, I mean, I don't, it's just a bad, sad situation for people that's in that position because anybody can lose a job. You lose your job, we all like one paycheck away from being in that position. And if you're not, great. That means that, you're doing something better than the majority of people. And, jobs don't really pay that much. They only paying you enough to come back. They're not giving you enough money to do what you need to do. And then you're looking at inflation, cost of living, everything is expensive. So $100 don't even go far in the grocery store anymore. You used to have $100, you can go in the grocery store and shop like crazy. But now, $100 only gonna get you a few items. So, and if you got a family, good luck with that one. That's tough. And it always seems like kids can eat more when it's less. So that's all I have for you. Just a little awareness type video. Again, this is Kate, back at it with a new video. Take care, guys.